Forget now where I mentioned this murder-suicide yesterday of a fellow by the nickname of Yankee Jim. I don't have his real name right in front of me. That was quite well known around the right-wing circles. He used to call in Ted on Turner's show a lot, and I think he had a show and called in on VNN. And so when I got a call about midnight the other night that told me that he had killed himself and killed his wife, I felt bad when any white activist has a problem like that. But then along with the email came the picture of his wife. I couldn't believe it. She was not white. She was looked like some kind of a Mexican or Puerto Rican or something like that. Real black, kinky-like hair and real brown skin, black eyes, a whole bit. There was no doubt she wasn't white. I can never understand how people can be such hypocrites to rant and rave about racism and then be laying in bed with a non-white at night. That don't make sense. So I put this out on the email, notice to all. I never knew Yankee Jim, but I heard him a few times on the Hal Turner program. He sounded like many other right-wing conservative racist speakers, ranting on and on and on and on about the Jews. But that's pretty common among right-wingers, let's face it. The Jews couldn't pull this off if non-Jews weren't such cowards and helped them out, really. Fifth column that opens the door. But that in itself is very common. James Wickstrom called me the other night and told me about the sad incident. Initially, I felt bad for any white activist that dies for whatever reason. But then I scrolled down and there was a picture of his wife, who he murdered. I was told she hated Jim due to his racism. And I have seen that many times, and it's very sad, even among when both partners are white. In fact, many times, if the man who is a white racial activist dies, a woman can't throw his books and videos and all that stuff out the back door fast enough. But the problem we have here, gentlemen and ladies, is not what the man said, but what he did. His wife was an obvious non-white. There was no question about that. Some kind of mestizo or Middle Easterner or Puerto Rican. They're hard to tell apart from my point of view. It's hard to tell for sure, but the important fact is she wasn't white by any stretch of the imagination. Why shouldn't she hate Yankee Jim? That would seem normal to me, that a non-white would hate a white racist. This type of marriage happens all too often among a lot of white racists. How can a white racist rant and rave about non-whites 24/7 and then lay down with a non-white every night, like I said before? I've seen a lot of this type of hypocrisy over the years in the racial struggle. That's not even talking about the white racists that go out on a one-night fling and end up drunk with a non-white. I remember in Los Angeles years ago, and this is just one of many incidents, I knew this stand-up white guy. He was very good, ex-military, clean-cut and ready to go to battle. The kind of guy you really want with you. After a while, he took me to his apartment to meet his girlfriend, and she was a flat-out brown-ass mestizo. I mean, she wasn't even close to being white. I told him that I regret that we can't work with him, but as long as he lived with a non-white, that was out of the question. So if you talk one way and act another, you're no good to our struggle. It just won't work. I mean, I don't see how you can trust somebody that lives a lie, you know. If they live a lie, they're liars.